Hello, fellow parents and educators. Thank you for joining me at Education Evolution, where we are disrupting the status quo in today's learning models. We talk about present-day education, what's broken, who's fixing it, and how. I'm Dr. Maureen O'Shaughnessy, your host and founder of Education Evolution and the Microschool Coalition, where we are fiercely committed to changing the narrative, to reimagining the education landscape and creating learning that serves all children and prepares them to thrive. If you are new, welcome to the podcast. Please subscribe on our website to get it delivered to your inbox weekly. If you've been around a while, have you left a review? Hello, Education Evolution listeners. Today we're going to talk about using a huge existing resource as a shortcut to creating your microschool. The resource? Existing schools and businesses. When I started a school within a school in a large high school in Washington State, the building, students, teachers were all present, and I just needed to reconfigure the learning model for this small group of learners and teachers. It was my wheelhouse. I love creating. I love taking resources and seeing how we can shift them up and meet a present need. And Connect was born, a school within a school that met 5 periods of the day in a group of portables. And then the last period of the day, they could go back into the building and take an elective. They could take Japanese or graphic design. So that microschool was within an existing school. In the 2 recent episodes of Education Evolution, you've heard how businesses have pivoted to open a microschool. In episode 22, Nana Campana already had a cognitive therapy play-based practice. So she had a vision, a facility, and clientele already in place. And she pivoted to open her microschool, The Untethered Mind. Sonia Harris, in episode 23, was that frustrated special ed teacher who left the school model because it wasn't working and created the Bullock Garden Project, a nonprofit foundation. With this existing vision and team, she was able to pivot and open a nature-based microschool, Their Place Discovery Learning Center. So all 3 of these examples, my microschool that was a school within a school in Washington, and Nana's school in Florida, and Sonia's school in New Jersey, are examples of taking away many of the hard parts of starting a business because they're already done when we use an existing school or business and then pivot to add our microschool. We don't have to worry about where's the money coming from. What am I going to do for a facility? Who might I employ? Where would the students come from? A lot of these pieces are already in place or can shift and become in place. This shortcut is enormous and can make a big difference in whether opening your doors is a success or not. It truly can mean this difference between failure and success, or between taking a few months or taking a few years to open your doors. For some of you, if you're wondering, well, what's the big deal about a smaller school anyhow? Why would we want to pivot a business? You've all heard the expression that form follows function. This architectural principle means that the shape of a building or business should primarily relate to its intended function or purpose. So our huge present large high schools has an assembly line model, and all students need to fit within their grade level expectations. So the form is huge and standardized. Large institutions rarely have the bandwidth to personalize and individualize for our unique human beings. As adults, we've done that personalizing. We didn't all go to the same college or take the same major. We've all played to our strengths and our interests and our resources. So why we wouldn't want that for our young is a mystery. I think we just got caught up in what seemed like it worked, and then slowly it didn't work, but it was so gradual, but it was still familiar, that we kind of got stuck thinking that our kids deserve to be part of this large school assembly line. For some, it's great. For a lot, it isn't. Smaller businesses are nimble and can readily adjust to a variety of factors. The same is true with smaller schools. And this isn't the first time in educational history that we've explored having smaller schools within larger ones. I can remember in the 90s, it was a big idea to have schoolhouses, kind of like the Gryffindor, the Harry Potter model, where you have one large school, but you have smaller communities within it. But there were 3 pitfalls with this system. The first is that it attempted to place every student in one of these, maybe 3 to 6 houses within a larger school, which was still pigeonholing them and still based on grade level expectation. So only the size of the group changed, and it didn't get a lot smaller. The model remained grade level assembly line processing. So the big model did not shift. The second pitfall is there was no new vision or training to help teachers address the unique needs of individual students. And the third pitfall was it didn't include any research on how students best learn or how to create learner-driven project-based instruction. Nor did it address the research on mental health and social emotional needs of our youth. So taking something big and chopping it into pieces is not going to create the desired effects. But we have considered this in the past. But again, why do we want to get smaller and more personalized? A metaphor that comes to mind is that of a motorcycle versus a semi-truck. Yes, a semi is able to carry large amounts of a product to a destination, but if there's something in the road, it can't easily swerve. If there needs to be a sudden stop, it can't make these things happen well. It also can't take advantage of there's a sign. I want to take this next exit and do the off-ramp and get into this cool opportunity. Whereas a motorcycle is definitely nimble. It can veer around obstacles. It can hop onto that off-ramp when it sees a last-minute cool opportunity. There is definitely a need for semis in our world. It is a great way to get large quantities from one point to the other. But our kids deserve a motorcycle version of education that can quickly adapt to life situations and opportunities. We've seen how large institutions are not able to meet the needs for diminishing our achievement gap. They're not able to deal with our dropout rates, which in Washington state are 20% or 30% if you're a student of color, or greater than 30% if you're a student with special needs. Yes, a semi can get a big load to a destination, but it's not worried about does every single product make it to the end point and in wonderful form. Our precious children are not products to be carted from the start to the finish. They deserve small and personalized learning. So, if you work in a business that has a passion for what you produce and a way you could use your model to serve students, you are a fantastic candidate to pivot and create a microschool. Or if you're a teacher who does things uniquely in a larger school, or always has a variety of students hanging out in your classroom at lunch or after school, you're probably already a magnet. What if you could pull in 3 or 4 like-minded teachers and create your own school within a school? You already have all of the resources. It could be a half-day humanities program, perhaps one that is multi-year and students can loop back into the following year. Or maybe it's an art-integrated, project-based STEM program that ties in your art, science, and math curriculum, maybe with an elective thrown in. Or maybe you are just that somebody that sees resources, and you can go out and nudge a person within a business or a school. You don't have to be in that business or school yourself. We all need visionaries with a strong work ethic to help us transform our reality into the world we desire for our kids. So 5 steps you can take if you want to start this pivot process. 1, you can look objectively at your business or school and create a list of the resources you have and a vision for how you could use these to serve a specific population of students. That's what Sonia and Nana both did. You can share your idea, 2nd step, with another dreamer who isn't afraid of big ideas or change and who is passionate about all students thriving. See where your conversation takes you. 3rd step, you could sign up for my Build Your Own Micro School self-paced course. The cost is $199 and the profits go directly to their place, the Discovery Learning Center that I mentioned. This course takes the 7 steps from my book, Creating Microschools for Colorful Mismatched Kids, and breaks them down into action items with a worksheet for each of the 7 steps. It also includes becoming part of a private Facebook group where we support each other and share ideas. 4, after I wrote my book, I created Microschool Coalition. It attracts other small school leaders. So you could go and check out the list of schools on the Microschool Coalition website. Maybe there's one near you or one with a similar vision. Reach out and ask for more information. Each microschool in the Microschool Coalition has agreed to be a resource for others. We are all paying it forward. Just like in episode 10, when I introduced Andy Smallman, his Puget Sound Community School shared resources when I was thinking about starting a school in 2013. Or your 5th option is you can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation with me to explore ways you can pivot your business or school and create a microschool. Information on the self-paced course and my website are in the show notes. And right now, we all see the gap in what students need and in what many of them are receiving in their school lives. Some people are lamenting and feeling hopeless. This doesn't have to be. My magic wand wish that I end each Education Evolution episode with? My wish is that some passionate child advocates will follow Gandhi's advice and strive to be the change they wish to see for our youth. That they'll be thinking equity. They'll be thinking all of our students being included. Let's make this happen. It's what I love to do, and I am happy to help. We're all in this together. Let's build the schools we want to see our students thriving in. I know how challenging it is to make changes inside your own school or community. I've spent years working with schools around the world on creating learner-centered programs, and it always struck me how much schools were able to get done with the right tools and guidance. If you're ready to make changes like this in your own school, let's talk and put together an action plan. Visit educationevolution.org/consult for a free 15-minute call, and let's see if we're a good fit for more work together. Education Evolution listeners, you are the ones to ensure we create classrooms where each student is seen, heard, valued, and thriving. We need you. Let's go out and reach every student today. I'd be so grateful if you'd head over to your podcast app to give a great rating and review if you found this episode valuable. Don't wait. Please do it right now before you forget. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Signing off, I am Maureen O'Shaughnessy, your partner in boldly reimagining education.